I love zombie games. State of Decay has not been an exception to this, and it's filled a hole that was created when H1Z1 met its untimely demise. May God rest its soul. There's just something about driving around stunning rural American roads, steamrolling zombies, that just feels right. And the fact that I have to pop painkillers every 2 minutes to survive really feels like I'm getting the authentic opioid crisis experience. Jokes about national tragedies aside, I really enjoyed State of Decay, despite its many flaws. It's a zombie RPG community management game, minus one of the main things about an RPG game. This story is about, well, there isn't one. You go through a quick tutorial which teaches you the mechanics of the game, and then you're thrown into one of 4 maps and left on your own to do as you wish. The main aim is to make friends with survivors and convince them to join your community. You get to choose which location your base is from a fairly large preset choice of areas, such as houses, breweries, police stations. There's a good variety. You can then deck out these places with facilities which will make your life easier for the survivors. Every so often, there'll be a zombie horde invasion at your base, which you'll be notified about in advance. As a game mechanic, I thought this was super cool, but in reality you'll probably only get around 10 zombies. I mean, I literally killed probably 4 times that amount of zombies on the drive over there. Can you guys handle that? I really feel like this mechanic could have been tuned up a bit, because I think it could have added some well-needed fear to the game. Your base has a huge storage container, meaning you don't really have to worry about what you store in it, which is a lovely dichotomy to the inventory space of your character, as you only have 2 pockets and up to 8 additional slots with a large backpack. I like this feature. It forces you to plan what you're going to be doing when you leave your base, and means you'll have to return with loot frequently. There are 4 types of special zombies. The Feral, which runs super quick and maul you to the floor. The Screamer, which as the name suggests, screams, bringing hordes of zombies rushing towards you. The Bloater, which emits gas, which makes your character extremely unhappy. And the Juggernaut, which takes a hell of a beating to kill. These aren't superficial and actually do add quite a bit of depth to the combat. They will change the way you deal with an encounter, as you are forced to kill them ASAP or else you have a good chance of dying, which is permanent. And when a few survivors die, they'll be gone forever. Each of your survivors have skills that can be leveled up, and you get to choose new abilities, sort of like a talent system. The game doesn't really do much to make you feel an emotional connection to any of the survivors. In fact, there aren't even any dialogue options when you speak to them aside from when you're doing a quest. Actually, conversely, I came to despise one of the survivors, Dave, the hand model? Aptly dubbed pathetic, all Dave would do was tirelessly complain about how life sucked. Real downer of a dude. He didn't contribute to anything and kept telling us that he was going to leave us like a kid telling their parents they're going to run away. Like, yeah, fucking do it then, Dave. I never made the choice to exile him because I hoped that one day I'll be able to watch his face get eaten off by a zombie, but sadly that never happened. You need to collect resources to keep your base running, and these are mostly obtained from scavenging buildings and doing missions. Missions? Ah, so there is a story. Well, not really. Every so often you get a mission pop up, and they can basically be organised into 3 categories. Survivors need a resource and you need to give them. Survivors are struggling against a horde of zombies. Or survivors are looking for an item or person they've lost. There's also traders, but like, why is that a mission type and not just something on the map? There are also some survivor-specific chain quests, but really it's just like a bunch of the same type of mission in a row.
Let's make a deal.
There is a bit of a story behind these chain quests though. I wanted a chain quest to help out some bootleggers to gather the equipment to make some alcohol. They kept turning up exceptionally drunk to zombie fights, borderline throwing up. In turn I berated them about the dangers of drinking and fighting flesh-eating monsters. They eventually gave up the booze, leaving it only for medicinal purposes. I felt like I'd really done the right thing. It is bizarre, however, that when playing an RPG, the closest thing I got to a story is role-playing as an Alcoholic Anonymous sponsor. They did give me a radio option for an emergency booze delivery though, which, fair play, that's pretty dope. Another was a group of survivors who guilt-tripped me into repeatedly giving them my valuable resources, with the promises of some project that they're working on, until one day they just vanished. A star for realism. Speaking of realism, as fun as mowing down zombies with your car is, it actually severely damages it, and it will blow up if you aren't careful. Great. So we should probably drive more cautiously and avoid hitting zombies, and... Really? Was that absolutely fucking necessary, Dave? Was your life in immediate danger there? Survivors riding you will push out their door to kill zombies if they are too close. A few too many hits and the zombies will have VIP access to that succulent face steak. I'm not a fan of this feature, and I don't understand why it was a forced mechanic. I'd much rather just sliver past large hordes. The way you beat the game is by destroying these plague hearts, which are scattered around the map. And man, I really didn't enjoy this. If you ever played The Elder Scrolls Oblivion, then I'd compare it to destroying the Oblivion Gates. The first one was mildly interesting, and then you get frustrated and bored to death with the monotony and repetitiveness of the experience. Once you destroy them all, you get a chance to move to a new map, bringing over your survivors, sort of like a new game plus feature. There is also a multiplayer element to the game, up to 4 people, but it's more of a jump in and help your mates kind of thing, not a real cooperative experience, which I thought would have been super cool. Overall, I think it was a different but very enjoyable game, and I definitely recommend trying it out if you get the chance. I hope you found this video enjoyable and informing, and I'll see you around.